Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Clifton Raheem Bradley, and you're watching the Underground Railroad television show. We come on every Saturday night at 10:30. I'm getting ready to give you some news that you can't afford to lose. Coming from out of Chicago, but no matter where you are, you need to hear this. I'm going to have him introduce himself. Thank you for accepting the invitation to the Underground Railroad television show.
No problem. Glad to be here. My name is Jason. Jason Savage to be exact. Basically, I'm a graduate student of my master's in social work from Chicago State. I've interned previously at a place called Images, where we help clients with mental health. Also, we help them with sexual abuse situations. We also help out with substance abuse counseling. So these things are my interests, and basically I'm passionate about it, and just want to get started with the interview.
Okay, I thank you for accepting the invitation. And I want to ask you, how did you, what made you a deciding factor in making you get into the field that you wanted to get into, that you have a passion for?
Well, ever since I was young, some of your life, they say your life experiences help shape the character and the person that you are destined to become. With that being said, I've seen a lot of challenges that I had to face in my own personal life, as well as others that's near and dear to me. And so I've come to realize that I'm very passionate, when I mean passionate, about others, and I'm caring. So with that being said, I wanted to find a way to channel that energy into giving back and helping, people like myself who were struggling through day-to-day situations, whether it was incarceration, whether it was sexual abuse within the household, whether it was child neglect, or whatever that, comes from the minority neighborhoods, me being of the African American culture.
Okay, and you know what? There may be some brothers or sisters right now that you can inspire to go to a university to get a higher learning, and they're on the borderline. So can you say anything to inspire them?
Yes, always dream and also set goals. Follow your dreams and follow your goals. Challenges will arise. But my Creator, what I believe in, provides the strength for me to persevere, as well as I believe that works in others' lives as well. So I would say, don't be afraid of failure, because there's something to learn out of each fall that a person may take.
I always like to ask, going back to your background, is it anything that your mother and father did to inspire you, to give you encouragement to go in the direction that you went into?
Yes, my mother, she played a heavy part in my early childhood, and my dad, we had a rocky relationship early on, but I got close to him later, in life, and he also gave me, some good advice and good suggestions, and he always, taught me about good values spiritually, from his mother. He's gotten that from, and so those things, those tools I've used to be able to give me, a head start or a jump start in a direction and help build the character and the confidence. So, I believe that everybody do need that fabric of support, whether it's from your mother, your father, your uncle, whoever.
Okay. And this is the last question about family. There may be somebody that's struggling to have a relationship with their mother and father because of things that were done in the past that impacted their future. Can you send a message to them?
Yes. Well, I've had things, done to me, and I believe that having a positive role model, or having someone within the family fabric that you can identify with, You know, those are the things that we pull from as human beings, you know, because it's so much going on in the world today. So just to have someone doing something good or having a positive outlook or implicating by showing that, you know, my mother and my father had me at young ages. So I also had my grandparents in my life. So my grandparents was kind of like, you know, the niche, you know, the matriarch and the patriarch of the family. And so even though they were separated, they never got divorced, and they stayed relevant within my life. So the values that my grandfather had and the values that my grandmother had, both of them were working in their older age, and they took care of family and they believed in family. Those are some of the things that I, you know, absorbed and implemented into my own life in this present day.
But I'm asking you, can you say something to somebody that's struggling in a relationship with their mother and father right now, and it may have been things that impact their future? Should they get back together with them, or just say, forget it?
No, I believe they should get back together. You know, all wounds needs time to heal. And, you know, like I said, I don't mean to bring religion into it, but I have to in this matter, according to the question. You know, the God I serve, He forgives all. And so, you know, if I want to be like that, then I also implement that. You know, I try to identify and forgive. So I would suggest that, you know, a person should move on, and, you know, you don't forget if someone has hurting you, but you don't forget it, but you should forgive, and that makes, you know, the lifestyle more worth, you know, going on.
Okay. And you know, switching to another other subject matter, you are a counselor, and you counsel people. Sound like you're saying that's the only way to heal is to start with yourself. But I want to go to drugs, okay, and mental health problems. What did you think about the government closing down all of these mental health facilities like Tinley Park and I think Mantino because of the budget crisis? What was your feelings about that?
Well, I think it's a sad situation for them to do that. I believe that a lot of it has a lot to do with, you know, privatization. You know, dealing with the jail systems. You know, a lot of the jail systems are taking on the challenge now with dealing with mental health patients. You know, but they are not as equipped as these hospitals were, or armed with the tools to meet the challenges to the people who had mental illnesses. So being that they are in these jails, they're mixed in other populations with other people, and it's, you know, impactful because when these people are released, they, you know, they're not transitioning to a better environment. That, you know, they're in crisis of recidivating and recreating a new situation for themselves.
Now, do you think so? What do the people do if the mental health facilities have shut down because of tax resources and their budget cuts? What type of suggestion can you offer if they're saying there's limited funding to have programs like this?
So, you know, what the people can do is, you know, the people have to pull together first and foremost within the community. And, you know, they also have to rally, you know, like going to places like Springfield. Also getting the attention of the aldermen, you know, because, you know, all problem starts within the home. And the community is the home. You know, that's the home base. So, you know, you have to reach your local politicians, you know, put the pressure on them, you know, and you have to pull together, you know, because one voice cannot bring change, you know, but the masses of the people can, you know.
Okay. There's a drug situation going on in America. Some say the United Snakes of America right now. And how is it that these drugs are getting into the United States of America? And why did the CIA put drugs in LA to cause an epidemic? Why?
Well, that's a question far beyond me. I don't know understand the root of the problem till its fullest, but I can, give my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's because of mass incarceration, promotion of that. Um, you know, it's to create barriers for minorities. Also, it's a lot of stakeholders. It's politics involved in it. So it's really no one answer to complete that. That question, because there's so many combinating factors. And I think that's an answer that's a little broad. So a question.
Do you believe that the CIA, according to the reports I see, they did put crack in L.A. and it started there?
Well, yeah, the CIA could be known for doing. They've been known for having, bad criminal histories. They the biggest gangsters, in America. It's all about them.
They're gonna put you on the list now. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm probably already on the list.
Go ahead.
But yeah, from the biggest mob bosses. I mean, people are pawns in America. So we all know that the CIA is, like I said, the biggest gangsters. They control and what drugs come in, what drugs go out. Who they want to bust. Who they want to put the most weight on, and So I mean, but we have to be smarter as people. And there's potholes ahead for everyone, whether you're a minority or just a person that's striving in this world. You got to see those pit holes and those pitfalls to be able to know how to navigate around them, and not be subject to the traps that they lay. Because this is one thing I can say about America is that we have choice. Everything is not what it seems, but you do have the choice in your own mind and soul to make the decision to be a part of this, be a part of that.
Well, you know what? As we discuss this, why is it that the little brother on the corner, sister on the corner, heavily scrutinized and penalized against when they sell drugs on the corner, but the ones that are bringing drugs into the country, they not harsh on them, and they basically don't do nothing about it until it's re-election time to make it look like they really concerned.
Well, that's another broad question, but I'm gonna answer to my best ability. I'm gonna say that the brothers on the corner, are misinformed. They haven't been raised with the proper raising, and they haven't been showed real leadership or real leadership qualities within their home. Because of division of the families. Most black families are being headed by a single black mother. And a lot of black males are either incarcerated or dead or, like I said, in jail. So with that being said, this is how you slowly and over time castrate and a family, and so it's like the disintegration of nuclear families. I got a study. It says according to Daniel Patrick Monahan report in 1965, nearly 25% of black children were born to unwed mothers. Today the out of wedlock birth rates is nearly 75%, and even higher in some urban areas. This goes along with progressive policies that enable like subsidy for housing for the black woman. In certain policies, if a black male is incarcerated, how he's not able to, come and live with you know, his woman or his wife or even his baby mother if they have a family together. So this keeps the black man out of the house, even though they say it's trickles of that change, and it still hasn't completely changed.
You made me think about the movie Claudine, this old movie called Claudine, but go ahead.
Yeah, but you know, we as minorities, we also, like I said, have to be smarter, and we shouldn't play victimization in the things that we should be aware of. We should be knowledgeable of it. And what I mean by victimization is we shouldn't see ourselves as victims all the time, because the victim takes no responsibility or accountability for their past or current situation. Although we know that there's been a history of slavery and racism, you know, there's things that we can do as individuals. We just have to seek those things.
But when I'm at, you know what, something I'm always also asking you is, why isn't the federal government as hard as on the government entities bringing drugs into the community, opposed to the little brother or sister that's on the corner? That's what I'm...
Because it's politics. You know, it's politics.
Politics.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, you know, it's really no, you know, they're not that. You know, this. Look at how this country was taken over. You know, so I mean, it's been a replica. You know, we have just lived through different paradigm shifts. It's been a replication of that. You know, in many different forms that's going on as we go further into, you know, this millennium and so forth. So, you know, it's gonna take not just one person. It's not just gonna take a few good people within minority cultures to make that change. It's gonna take something greater, you know, to bring not just awareness, but to completely change the momentum of where we're going.
You know, one more question. You know what, President Reagan, he did a campaign that says "Say no to drugs."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and 3 strikes you're out. I think he came up with it. I gotta look that up. But why is it that they wanted to give an individual more time for doing crack, but when it came to cocaine that is used by the affluent, they got a slap on the hand, and opioids?
Right.
They wasn't concerned about people in the inner community using drugs, but when European people started using opioids, they say we need a program. Can you answer that? Because you're a counselor.
Yeah, well, my take on that is, you know, that's a form of targeted racism wrapped up in laws and policies, and it's various, you know, because they knew that blacks at that time, as well as whites, as well as the world, was using, you know, these opioids and this cocaine. But when, you know, when the word got out that blacks were using a household product with it, that's what helped to change cocaine to crack cocaine, which is, I think, from what I've learned growing up in the neighborhood, was I think baking soda, a household product they use. It didn't modify it. It still is the same substance. Mm-hmm. That's what made them say, okay, because crack cocaine was being sold in the minority neighborhoods versus regular cocaine was being sold in the you know, white neighborhoods. So, you know, we're gonna set policies up that's gonna, you know, create larger barriers for the blacks and the minorities alike, versus the whites get slaps on the wrist. You know, with that being said, you know, it's just another form of racism. Another, you know, but, you know, like I said, to be aware is better than just being alive. You know, so we've came a long way from that, even though that brothers today are still suffering, you know, are incarcerated.
I want to get to Donald Trump and immigration and other subject matter. You know, What are your feelings about U.S. President Donald Trump? And then I'm going to move on to immigration, just so the audience can know what your feelings are.
Donald Trump is Donald Trump. I personally don't know the man, so I don't hate anyone or dislike anyone. Do I agree with his perception?
His policies.
Do I agree even with his policies? Even when there were policies, for me to be, I'm not a political a politically moved person anyway. I don't really associate myself. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't dib and dabble as far as when it comes to information about politics, but I don't get emotionally moved by it because I know that.
Wait a minute, you wasn't moved when Obama became president?
Well, I was happy.
Well, wait a minute.
I was happy that we had a black face, but it's what reason. Here's why I say what I say. Yeah, Obama was the first black president, but we still got a much further way to go. I was happy, but
I was just asking it because you said you are moved by politics, and I had to kind of play the devil's advocate.
Right. But, I wasn't out my body. I mean, I was happy, that to finally see in my lifetime that we're having a black president. But still, there's so much that needs to be done. I don't put my faith into politics. That's basically what I'm saying. No man can change, the mentality or the spirituality of people, of how they think, how their hearts are, and sometimes we put too much on what one person, whether a man or woman, and our expectations can do, or what they should be able to do. And so, and a lot of times we get let down, so, that's kind of, for me, I can't speak for the masses, but for me, I voted, when Barack Obama, I voted, did I vote this election? When I didn't vote for Trump, I'll just say that, but it doesn't mean that I don't, I hate the guy or don't like the guy. I don't know him.
I was more or less talking about his policies. That's what I was. That's more or less what I was should have said.
Yeah.
I did a poor job as an interviewer, I guess, because I didn't convey the message. Okay.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I don't agree with all his policies. But his policies is his policies. What can I do? Because they got to go through the Senate and the House of Representatives. Once he signed a policy, it takes about 2 to 3 to almost 4 years for certain policies to pass, and then we gotta, even if a new president comes in, we gotta, wait for them to veto it or however it may go. My thing is, no, I don't agree with all of his policies. About immigration. About him, how these young people or young families are being separated.
You don't think he wants to make America great again?
I don't think he has the power to make America great again.
I'm just talking.
No, I'm just responding. I'm saying that I really don't think America is what America is. Just like any other country.
Some suggest that he wants to. When I'm being kind of litigious, but some say by making America great again, he wants to turn the hand of the clock back. So, what's your opinion? I'm talking about in terms of the policy, like abortion. Okay, I said Brown versus Wade. So, go ahead.
Okay, speak more. When you say abortion, what about abortion?
Okay, I think he's pro-life. And he is pro-life. Mm-hmm. He probably would end up appointing a Supreme Court judge, which will make the highest court in the land, that will make the law for the lands for about 45 years, almost the next generation. That will affect, even though we don't care about politics, it will impact your life one way or the other.
Right, exactly. when babies being born. I support life.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you were young, I feel that the key to life is reproducing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so anyone against that, I would think that just in my opinion, I think that they have a different. Their perception doesn't match mine.
You and Donald Trump stand toe and toe together, and millions of others.
Yeah, when it comes to that,
Okay.
I believe in life because I believe in that being a blessing.
Lifestyle said conception. That's what actually, some people believe that, some people don't. But you know what about immigration? I would like to ask you something.
Tammy, oh Tammy, tell me you love me, but I know it's a lie, and I wonder why you don't love me anymore. Tammy, oh Tammy, your kiss has grown cold, and there's ice in your smile, and I wonder why you don't love me anymore. I know how to do, but you made up your mind. You're leaving. I can't believe it. Say it's not true. Well, I've done everything a man knows how to do, but you made up your mind. You're still leaving. I can't believe it. Say it's not true. Oh, Tammy. Oh, Tammy, you're standing there lying while inside I'm dying, and I wonder why you don't love me anymore. Anymore. Tammy, oh Tammy, tell me you love me, but I know it's a lie, and I wonder Why?